Hi guys, recently I made this chicken noodle soup because there's an awful flu going around. So many people I know have it, and this is actually really good for that. It might not be the easiest on the eye, but it's definitely easy on the stomach and the heart and the soul. Research shows that it actually has anti-inflammatory properties which will ease the symptoms of cold and flu and just make you a little bit less miserable. Some studies showed that it's also a decongestant, although some doctors believe that because this chicken soup is so comforting that the health benefits are actually psychosomatic, which doesn't actually make them any less real. They'll still ease the symptoms, but it just means that you might also be crazy. So to start off, take 2 large carrots and peel them, then chop them. I'm just chopping them into rings, but you can chop them finer if you'd like, and reserve them in a bowl to the side. Then take 2 large onions and peel them and dice them. To dice the onion correctly, you make sure you leave the root attached and then you have through the root, and then take 1/2 of the onion and make 1 horizontal cut almost down to the root. Then make a second horizontal cut in the same way, and if you've got room, make a third. Then, with the root pointing away from you, cut down vertically so that the tip of the knife is almost reaching the root, but not reaching the root. This will keep the onion half intact for you while you start to cut slices going from the top of the onion all the way down to the root. The number of slices you make should depend on how finely diced you want your onion. And then at the end, you'll have a diced onion done professionally, and add that to the carrots. And continue in the same way for the rest of the onions. Now chop up your celery. I'm using 3 because I've only got the ones from the inside of the celery plant and they're a lot smaller, so if you've got bigger ones, just use 2. And chop them as finely as you want. I'm chopping them really finely though, because while celery gives an amazing base flavour to soups and stews, I don't actually like to see it at all because it reminds me of this horrible celery and apple salad that we used to have when I was a kid, so just suit yourself. And add that to the bowl with the rest of the carrots and onions. Now peel and chop a lot of garlic. Don't add it to the bowl with the rest of the veg though, because this is going to be added to the soup later. You can see there that I've got 7 small cloves. Feel free to use more if you'd like. You can't use too much in a recipe like this, and just mince it up as finely as you can. Then just set that aside with a good bunch of fresh thyme. Now in a heavy base saucepan, a good sized one, heat up 2 or 3 tablespoons of olive oil and then add your veg, your carrots, onions and celery. Give them a good stir in the hot oil and then clamp the lid on the pot and let them sweat for about 5 minutes. Now that they've just begun to soften, give them a little stir before you add your garlic and that whole bunch of thyme. Don't bother taking the leaves off first, because in soups and stews you can add the whole bunch of thyme, branches and all, and the leaves will come off naturally, and you can just fish out the branches afterwards. It's just so much easier. Now go ahead and add your chicken. I'm using a whole chicken, but you can use pieces if you'd like, or bones that you've been storing up for stocks. That'd be really good as well. Legs would be really good because they're so economical, they're really cheap. But I'm using a whole chicken that weighed 1.5 kilograms, which is just over 3 pounds. Then fill it all up with cold water. For me that took 1.5 litres, which is just over 6 cups. Then I added about 2 teaspoons of coarsely but freshly ground black pepper. And a really good amount of salt. I'm using 5 teaspoons of Maldon sea salt flakes. This soup needs a lot of salt, but Maldon sea salt flakes are quite mellow and it's hard to over season, so if you're using the fine flowing table salt, I'd halve the quantities and use 2.5 teaspoons. Then bring that water from cold up to a nice gentle simmer before you clamp the lid on and leave it for 2 hours at a medium to low heat. 2 hours later, you take the chicken out to let it cool. The best way to do this is to get a serving spoon and stick it up the cavity of the chicken and let all the juices drain out before you remove it to a plate. Set your chicken aside to let it cool while you move on to your noodles. I'm using orzo, which is rice-shaped pasta, which is a lot better for soups. I'm using 250 grams of it and I'm going to cook it in unsalted water. I'm not salting the water first because there's enough salt in the soup. When it's done, just strain it and add it to the pot with the rest of the soup. While the pasta's cooking, you need to carve your chicken. The best way to do this is to remove both breasts first and set them aside so that you can shred them with 2 forks later. Remember to remove all the meat from the bones and the skin. You don't want them at all. They've already given the soup enough flavour. You don't need them anymore. I sometimes think that a roast chicken can be a little bit of a waste of money because everyone wants the white meat and no one really goes at the dark meat, and there's not a lot of really flavoursome meat in the thighs and back that no one really goes at. But with this soup you can just go at it yourself and make sure you get all that really flavoursome meat into the pot. Now that all the skin and bones have been discarded, take the breasts and the other really big pieces of chicken and just shred them up with 2 forks. When that's done, you'll be left with a plate of light and dark meat from a whole chicken minus the skin and bones. Now you add your cooked and drained orzo pasta to your chicken broth and give it a good stir, followed by all that beautiful chicken meat. Once that's all warmed through, then just serve up. I'm having it in a bowl now, but the best way to have this if you're sick is to have it in a massive mug on the couch under a blanket, maybe with a hot water bottle, and watch a load of bad TV. I know that this soup is not going to win any beauty prizes, but whether you have cold or flu or not, it's definitely going to make you feel so much better, especially on those really cold, rainy days. This would just be perfect. So that's it. I hope you liked this video. If you did, be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons below and let me know how you get on if you try this at home yourself. You can leave me a comment below or tweet me or Facebook me or let me know on Instagram. All the links to my accounts are in the description below, as is the link to my blog where you'll find the full recipe at www.rookiecook.org.